Hello and welcome to another episode of Run Till You're Done. This week's guest has taken the bold move to create a running brand with the mantra of find your freedom. If you know of this, you'll know our guest is the Trail Goddess founder herself, Leigh-Ann Thomson. Welcome, Leigh-Ann.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No problem. We'll start off by we'll get into your clothing design in a minute. But talk about you. How did you get into running?
Wow, I've been running for about 16 years now. So I started running probably just before my eldest was born, and she's coming up for 16. Back then, though, I didn't really take it very seriously, used any opportunity to kind of chuck it, for example, having a baby, and found it quite tough getting back into it. But primarily I started running to lose weight. I joined my local Jog Scotland group. I was there for like 10 years, and I really credit the jog leaders there because they totally encouraged me and motivated and inspired me to keep going with running, to keep at it. So during those times where I kind of chucked it and then went back, they were always there for me to kind of encourage you and, spur you on. So I stayed with Jog Scotland for about 10 years roughly. I found trail running probably about, maybe 7 years ago now. And it was one of my friends. She's a triathlete. She's in like half Ironmans and things. And she said, I'll take you all on a trail route. It's like a local route. I live near Loch Lomond, called the Christmas Tree. So from that day on, I was just absolutely hooked. I just felt that I'd found my thing, just something that really brought me joy. So trail running just became a massive thing for me, a huge part of my life, and I just couldn't be without it now. So
Christmas Tree is not a route that I know of. I've run beside Loch Lomond plenty of times. Do you want to give away your secret locations?
So the Christmas Tree is kind of known locally as the Christmas Tree because it's actually part of the Jormuir Way. So the section that leaves from Bala out towards Helensburgh, and it's absolutely beautiful. Views all over the loch side, Loch Lomond and Trosach. So right out to Helensburgh, actually, it's just stunning. If you get a clear day. And at the top, there's a tree, which unfortunately has kind of been cut back now. And everyone used to hang Christmas decorations on it, or little kind of like tags with like, sayings of gratitude or, words of encouragement for others to find when they went up there. And then recently someone actually put a memory bench there as well, which is quite high up. So I don't know how they got it there, but it's just a really lovely spot, and it means a lot to me. Running just completely changed my life. Finding it 16 years ago, it's helped me through some of the toughest times in my life, and I've had a few of those. So it just means so much to me, and the people that I've met, the community that I've met through running, it's just really been amazing.
Is there any tags that you've put up that you want to share?
I haven't put any tags with words, actually. I know some of the trail runners, they love like to put a sticker up in certain locations. I've seen Nikki doing that as well, but I think it's something that I maybe should do. But I've enjoyed like seeing other people's decorations, and when I was at Helensburgh Running Club, the club kind of secretary passed away, so we all went up one evening and all kind of hung Christmas decorations on the tree as a bit of a kind of memory thing for him. So that was really nice. It means something to a lot of people. It's just a really well-known route locally, and one that I always seem to go to when I need time to think and find a bit of clarity. So it's such a beautiful route. I would recommend it.
And you've ran for 16 years. Do you like to take part in races? And if so, which was your first race?
My first race was Race for Life, the 5K in Glasgow. It was horrendous. Like back then, I was quite overweight growing up, so I wasn't good at sports. I was a bit of a tomboy. I used to play football with my brother. I used to kind of roam around the trees and, make dens, build fires, all that sort of stuff. But I wasn't great at sports apart from swimming. I was quite good at swimming, but I couldn't run to save myself. It just, wasn't my thing. But when I decided to start running, I thought I'll, sign up for a race, sign up for this 5K. And I remember thinking I'll raise some money for charity and that'll kind of spur me on. So my mum and my then mother-in-law had actually suffered with breast cancer. So I thought I'll do it for them. And it was shocking. I was so unfit at that back then. I think, I was quite overweight. And I think I did it in 39 minutes. So, and I remember going to collect my money from everyone in work, for their donations. And I told one of the partners back then when I worked in a solicitor's firm, and she said, "You did it in what?" She's like, "You might want to go a bit faster the next time." So that kind of always stayed with me, about being slow and having to get a time with running. So I think from that moment on, I was just like, I need to get good at this. And that was it.
You're saying about the Christmas tree gives you motivation. Somebody saying that you're slow is probably not the right motivation. I guess proving them wrong, I guess, it is a motivation.
Yeah, I've always been that type of person that if someone tells me I can't do something, then you're damn right I'm going to do it. I'm a firm believer in if you really want something badly enough, you'll make it happen. So, and I've I suppose applied that through work, running, Trail Goddess, everything. If you have a dream and you want something badly enough, you can do it, you can make it happen.
I think it's brilliant that you used that as fuel as well and turned it into a positive, because I had a bit of a similar experience with myself. I'd uploaded my first run to Strava. I was really proud of it and showed it to one of the 4 friends I had on it at the time. And he says, "Did you walk it?" And from then on, I was like, nah, you know what? Let's get better at this. So it's good to have a spin on it that way. And as you say, you've continued to do it and it has changed your life like it has for many others.
Yeah, and I think as well, as you kind of continue with your running journey, you hear a lot of people that say that running escalates quite quickly. So, I used to do from that 5K, I did, road 10Ks, road half marathons. And then after that first trail run, I was absolutely hooked in the trail running scene. I used to listen to podcasts from, Karen Nichol and Debbie Martin Consani and, all the local, I suppose, ultra running heroes to people like myself. And they really inspired me. And I was determined I was doing an ultra. I just had it. I knew I had it in me. And it wasn't until I had my little boy at 41 that I decided that was the time to go and do it. So that's when my kind of ultra running journey began.
And as it escalated, I bet you found it was not a cheap free hobby as well.
Yeah, whoever said just lace up your trainers and run was lying. It's like everything else, you just get so kind of into the sport. And I'm hugely passionate about trail running and running in general, and supporting other women in running as well and getting into the sport, because I know how difficult it is, having ran for 16 years and struggled through 3 pregnancies to keep up my running. So it's not a cheap hobby if you, I suppose, want to progress. But it doesn't have to cost there either. You should just be able to lace up your trainers and go and find your freedom, on a run.
Yeah. And you said you've been running for 16 years through, not necessarily your ultra career, but throughout the whole of your running. What is your favourite race that you've done?
There's been a lot of good memories from running. I don't think you ever speak to anyone that hasn't got a good story to tell about their running journey. But for me, it's got to be Devil of the Highlands. That's, from the heart, my favourite race. It meant so much to me to finish that race. I trained for that during a really difficult time in my personal life, and I had something to prove to myself that day, and I was so proud of myself for crossing that finish line. And the route, it means a lot to me as well. Like, I spent a lot of time up there last year during the summers, and I trained a lot up there, and yeah, I was so determined that day. I had a job, you know, to get done. That's the way I was looking at it, and I absolutely loved it. It was a great race. Just like seeing everyone there in the day, seeing Nikki, and just so many people that I didn't really know that well, but knew of from the ultra running community, and people that have inspired me and supported me as well. It was just a great race. I absolutely loved it, and I always recommend it to everyone as well as a great ultra to go and do. Not just for the scenery, but just for the community as well, and the people. It's just got such a great vibe, I suppose. So yeah, that's definitely up there with my favourites.
It really is a great race. And between your ultras and even the road stuff that you've done, how do you fuel for your various events?
My friends will laugh when they hear me talk about this, because I am a big eater. Like, I love my food. So like, I don't struggle to fuel because of that, I've got to say. Like, but it has taken me a lot of learning over the years about what not to do. So bearing in mind, you know, having ran for 16 years, I've done a lot of races. I've had a lot of occasions where and I'm going to be blunt about this, I'm dry heaving after a race because I'm so dehydrated and haven't fueled for it. And it's taken me all those years to realise that, you know, the more effective you are at fueling your body, the more effective you are at running. And so yeah, I've got a coach now. I'm lucky enough to have a coach, and she's got me fueling every 30 minutes. So that seems to work really well for me. And up until now, touch wood, I have not had a bonk during a race, and always kind of finish strong. And I do put most of that down to fueling. So yeah, I can alternate between gels and real food, so like every 30 minutes, and I do the same thing all the time, so I'm practiced at it. Like, I know what I'm taking and when I'm taking it. But yeah, I love things like cereal bars and sandwiches. I love sandwiches. When I did Pennine Barrier in May, like, I just ate sandwiches the whole day. I just had them like stuffed in my pockets trying to stay to my best. And they were all like hanging out because I was just like putting more in when I was going into the aid stations. And so jam and peanut butter sandwiches are my favourite. And yeah, gels. I like the Luchos Delitos. I don't know if you have tried them before. And my recent find was Deliciously Ella. So it's like these cereal bars, but they're like organic, I think. And I reckon they've got about 50 grams of carbs in a bar. So it's quite high. And they taste really good as well. So yeah, all those things combined seems to work well for me. And I always have a carb mix in my drink as well, just in my water, sorry. So I've got a backup as well.
And going back to the sandwiches, what apart from the peanut butter and jam, have you had any different fillings that you've tried?
I had cheese on the Pennine Barrier, which I haven't had before. I just took a kind of notion for it because I'd been eating jam and peanut butter the whole time, and I was a bit sick of the sweeter stuff at that point. So I had a wee cheese sandwich, but I think that's probably as far as it goes. I'm pretty standard when it comes to my fueling. I did introduce a Mars bar recently, and it was like a tip from one of my friends. And I do actually think that saved me falling off one of the mountains during the Pennine Barrier, because I did hit like a kind of dizzy spell. And I suppose maybe you could say that was a bit of a kind of low point in terms of like my fueling, but I had fueled like, you know, as per the plan. But I was feeling quite dizzy, and I just literally, the Mars bar had all melted in my backpack, but I was just like eating it all the time. Yeah, just and it did. I felt instantly better after eating that. So thanks to my friend for that top tip on the Mars bar.
2 points to what you're just talking about there. One, do you want to give a shout out to your coach?
Yes, Karen Nichol from Wild Hat Runners. She is she's amazing. She's my hero, and she just gives so much to so many people, and she's been a great mentor to me both running and personally as well. So yeah, huge shout out to Karen.
Yeah, I know Karen well, and previous guest on the show. So thumbs up to Karen. The other point was Luchos. They're like squares of sort of sugar jelly, and they're wrapped in banana skin. So technically, you can throw away the wrapper, but and that used to be the case until the last batch that I bought, and they came wrapped in plastic. But what's the point in doing it wrapped in banana skin and then covering it in plastic? It baffles. It sort of put me off because although I like the product, it's anti what they're trying to be.
Yeah, I've heard a few people mention that actually about them. I mean, to be honest with you, like the wrapper, when you open the bar, it disintegrates and it flies off, and I still feel terribly guilty about that because you're trying to catch all these little pieces of the banana skin. So I mean, I would never throw away anything on the trails, but yeah, I do feel quite guilty when it just breaks off and flies away in the wind. So yeah, I know what you mean. For an sustainable brand, maybe they're not kind of sticking to their ethos, but they're good for fueling.
Well, they're no worse than all the other companies. So yeah, I guess it's that good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Next question was, out of everything you've done, and it might not be a race, it might just be something that you've done. What's your biggest achievement in running?
I think my biggest achievement in running has got to be the Pennine Barrier, the 50 miler. Yeah. I remember talking to a former coach about this years ago, and she had done the 5, it was like the chest, the 5 ultras, and she got her plate, is that what you call it? So the 5 GB ultras, she'd done the Grand Slam of GB ultras. You all right, Mike?
Something went down the wrong way. It was...
I'll let you have a wee drink.
I tried to put myself on mute so I wouldn't be. That was obviously on camera. So
Leigh-Ann's looking after us.
Yes. Yeah, I'm now first aid trained apparently. Anyway, that's a different conversation.
It wasn't something. It wasn't something you said. I generally something went right down the road.
No, it's okay. You need to...
It wasn't that shocked you'd done
it. Sorry about that. Something went down the wrong way there. What were we talking about?
We were talking about what was it? What's your biggest achievement? Running achievement?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I've got to say my biggest running achievement was Pennine Barrier in May this year. I had dreamt about running that race for years, and a former coach of mine, she had ran the Grand Slam, I think it's called, of GB Ultras races. She kind of set herself a task of this one year, and I remember her doing Pennine Barrier and seeing her, the image of her running under Ribblehead's viaduct, and I thought, I want to do that one day. That's going to be me. And then I kind of looked a bit more into the GB Ultras races, and I learned about the medal, huge big medal, and the Dan Bentley photo at the end, all the kind of iconic stuff that you get with GB Ultras. So for me, that was like a goal, but a goal that just seemed so far in the future. Little did I know what would happen like within 2 years, not even 2 years. So just going back to what we talked about earlier, things escalate very quickly with running. So yeah, when I signed up to that, I don't think I really kind of understood exactly what I was signing up for. I don't think I really understood that it was a mountain ultra and how challenging it could be, especially if the weather had been bad. I think it would have been a different day out, to be honest, for me. But it was a great race. Absolutely loved it. GB Ultras are just so amazing at organising these races, and I don't actually remember parts of the race, if I'm being honest. I don't know if other people encounter that during ultras. but some of the day I don't actually remember. But what I do remember is my watch dying at mile 44. And I tried to do all the safety stuff where you download like the map, OS maps and things like that, and it hadn't downloaded. So some lessons learned from that race in terms of like safety, mountain safety, that sort of thing. But it was getting dark, and I think that race definitely makes me think about like the trail running community and how amazing people are, because I mean, I think at 44 miles I was still running pretty well, I was still feeling really good, but I knew at that point I wasn't going to be able to make it back by myself. The route was partially marked, but that race is like fully self-supported, so you really are responsible for getting yourself back down. So I had to kind of go back and find some people who fast became my best friends that night, and if it wasn't for them, I don't know if actually I would have been able to finish the race, because it got dark really quickly. You were coming down like Janet's Foss, and it was pitch black, and you were sliding down rock faces, and it was just a really technical part of the route at the end. But when I hit the bottom of Janet's Foss, I just started sprinting towards the finish line, because I think at that point I was just desperate to finish. And I think losing control as well and not having the route on my watch, that bothered me a lot, and relying on other people to get back safely. So I was just like, all guns blazing, I'm getting across that finish line. So I think when I crossed the finish line, it was quite an emotional kind of point for me, just like that sheer relief of finishing. And as Dan comes and he takes you over to get your photograph taken, and he's so lovely and he says all these lovely things to you, and I just couldn't stop crying. And I didn't realise, because obviously you're holding your medal, and I was only wearing one glove as well, and my eyes were just like filled with tears, and he was just so kind. It's just a memory that I'll have like forever. I think it's just really special. So that's why I'm biggest achievement.
Yeah, I'm all for, like, you're saying that's your biggest achievement, but there was things that went wrong. Some people might say, oh, your watch stopped at 44 miles, so if it's not on Strava, did you really do it? We don't think like that. The times say that you finished the race, so we believe you. But no, my point was, what would the one thing that you could take away, like if you were to do the race, what would you change?
If I was to
do again, sorry.
Yeah, I think I would be better prepared in terms of, having a backup in terms of like safety, and maybe understanding the route a little bit better as well, and what the terrain was going to be like. Maybe I would have done a recce as well. I didn't do any recces of that route. I'd never been there before. I was quite naive, I think, going into that race. To be honest with you, when I went into it, I wasn't confident about it. I didn't actually know if I was going to finish. I had all sorts of issues with my feet and things like that leading up to that race. And I remember speaking to Karen, my coach, about it beforehand. But as soon as we went across that start line, there's just something in me just switches on, and I knew I was going to finish it, like, regardless. So if that means finding, being resourceful and problem solving and finding people that can help you get back and, do what you need to do and what you set out to do, then, that's what you're going to do. So it all worked out well in the end. But yeah, lessons learned definitely going into the next one, and especially if it's a mountain ultra again. So,
it's good to hear you are saying the next one. It's not, will I do one? No, it is the next one.
Yeah. I think I would definitely go and do another one. I really enjoyed it. I think definitely that's maybe where I might be heading. But it's good to try different races and different types of races. But I know that's one of your questions about races I might do in the future. So maybe another mountain ultra.
And aside from the running achievements, as I mentioned in the introduction, you have set up a brand, Trail Goddess. Are you able to talk about that and how that was founded?
Yeah, absolutely. So I touched upon, I had my little boy at the age of 41, So obviously a wee bit later in life, having my third child, and afterwards, you know, as you do sometimes, put on a little bit of weight during pregnancies, and I really struggled to get back into running after having him, being a bit older, having put on a little bit of weight. I struggled with my training. I really had this like burning desire to go and run an ultra, but I knew just I wasn't ready and I wasn't fit enough, and I didn't feel good about myself. So I remember trying to find kit from, you know, your usual online stores, and I was really struggling to find kit that fitted me. And I remember just feeling really down about it and not good about myself at all. And I thought, do you know what? I could do something about this. And, you know, it was just a kind of fleeting thought when I was out on a run one day about, you know, starting up a trail running brand. And the more I thought about it, the more it kind of started to spiral. And before I knew it, I was researching trail running kit. I was looking at branding. I was looking at, you know, kind of names. I met floating around names. And I remember being out for a run with Karen, my coach, one day, and she said something to me, and she said, you know, when I go out for a run, Leigh-Ann, she said, I kind of treat it like I'm going out for the night, or I'm going out for like a kind of day out with friends. She's like, you know, I do my hair, I do my makeup. I want to feel good about myself. And I just thought to myself, you're right, you're absolutely right. Like, women want to feel good when they're running, and if you feel good, you're going to perform better. So I guess it was kind of from that moment that it just started to kind of spiral. And I think I've always kind of loved everything 80s American. So that's kind of where the trail goddess came from, but also adds that bit of femininity and glam as well, like, which is a wee bit of my personality, and also kind of that inspirational feeling around goddess, and, you know, that empowerment as well around goddess as well. So that's where the name Trail Goddess came from. So yeah, so basically Trail Goddess is the UK's first trail running brand that's exclusively for women. So there's no other trail brand out there that I'm aware of that is, you know, just exclusively for women. So yeah, I'm on a bit of a mission to, I suppose, encourage and inspire other women to go out and find some time to themselves through trail running, but also finding kit that makes them feel good about themselves as well. So yeah, that's kind of where Trail Goddess came from.
Put you on the spot.
Yes.
Do you have a favourite 80s glam pop music? Do you have a favourite?
Fleetwood Mac for me, like, definitely was my favourite band. My mum and dad, like, I grew up in the 80s. I was born in 81, so yeah, I loved 80s music and just the whole vibe. I just still love it. The movies, the music, absolutely everything, and that kind of American 80s feel as well. So that's kind of, and I love vibrant colours. I love bold colours, as you can see. So I just felt that it really kind of took on parts of my personality, but also my love of trail running as well, and creating kit that's, it's not only vibrant and colourful, but it's functional as well. So it's technical kit that can help women go out and find that time to themselves, but wearing kit that makes them feel great and helps them achieve their goals. Because, you know, we might all be busy mums and friends and partners, but we do have our own goals as well, and it's so important for us to have that time to ourselves. So I want to encourage more women to go out and do that.
I find it nothing short of inspirational that you took the plunge to even set up the brand and the website and launch the kit. And I hope you don't mind me saying that you actually do this full time now.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, so up until August 2024, I was working full time. So my background's in construction, civil engineering. I worked in marketing and PR. So, you know, I was lucky to have that background that enabled me to, I suppose, get up and running quite quickly. But I went through a really big change in my life at that point in time. And I thought, you know what, now is the time to go all in with this. Now's the time to put everything you've got into this, because I'm so passionate about it. And yeah, I just ran with it. So and I think it really helps because I am so passionate about it, and helping other women, encouraging other women to go out and have that freedom and find that freedom, some time to themselves. But also I'm so passionate about trail running as well, and finding kit that does make you feel great and go out and achieve those goals. So yeah, it's really exciting, and it's going pretty well so far.
And when it's a brand exclusively for women, we all realise we live in a world now where it's all about inclusivity and everything like that. Have you faced much negativity from males that you don't do kit for them?
I get messages from men all the time about the kit, and it's all very positive. In fact, they're asking for a kit for men, or asking if I think it might fit them. And they've actually said they would wear it. So that's really great to hear. Like, it's great feedback for me that not only is the brand touching women, but it's also touching men as well. And yeah, I am all for inclusivity. I suppose I've experienced not being included when it comes to running before, and my aim is to create a community of women that really do motivate and inspire and encourage each other, but also show each other real kindness as well, because I think that's so important for women to support each other. And yeah, if men support us along in that journey, then that's absolutely amazing. But yeah, watch this space. Not just now, but you never know in the future.
For the record, for those that are watching on the video, there's some of your clothing in the background, and the t-shirt there that's hanging up. If it was a men's fit, I would wear it.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that is the new range in the background there, so I'm really excited about that. So everything's designed by myself and another female ultra and trail runners. So we all have that kind of passion for trail running. But yeah, this new range means that everything will be designed by myself, so that's designed through to manufacture. So yeah, everything is by women for women.
And as you wear your own kit that I've seen on the trails, do you have a favourite piece of kit from your own collection?
From the new collection as well, like obviously I spent the first year of Trail Goddess just building awareness of the brand and building the community and speaking to women about what they wanted from trail running kit. And it was really about research that kind of first year. And in the background, I was designing the Gaia waterproof jacket. So that was my first design through to manufacture piece. And I've got to say that's my favourite, because literally that was like back of a fag packet drawing, like to start off with. All my ideas from, I think I've got like about 6-7 different waterproof jackets that I've tried out for trail running. So I kind of took all the great things about those pieces and, obviously made sure that mine was made for women, and listening to what women really wanted from their jacket and their kit, and putting that all into my design. So I think it really helps that I'm out testing the kit myself. I've got friends that are testing it. My coach tests. I get feedback from so many women, lots of lovely women that just love going out and enjoying the trails like I do, but they're the people that need to be happy with the kit and to feel that it performs well for them. So their feedback means everything to me.
Well, the feedback from one of your customers here is my favourite piece, because I've got a few bits and bobs now. Definitely the shorts. I absolutely love the shorts. It's got 3 pockets in it. I must admit, I only use 2 of them, the ones at the side. I don't use the one at the back too much.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have used it actually, but they're absolutely phenomenal. They don't budge. They don't slide down. They're soft. They're my favourite piece of kit actually.
Thank you. I mean, that's amazing to hear.
I don't know if it would be a male versus female sort of what you prefer to wear, or maybe it's just 2 different people, because different people like different things. But if I've obviously not tried your shorts because they're female shorts, not that I have anything against wearing female clothes if that tickles your fancy, but I don't like side pockets, and I do use a rear pocket. That's where I put my car keys. So it's just different people like different things.
Yeah, I think the key thing about the Trail Goddess kit is that it's not unisex. You know, it's specifically made for women, and I think that's one of the barriers that I came across when I was getting back into trail running. Was a lot of the kit that I was ordering and trying was really made for men. You know, kit is kind of, I suppose they call it pink it and shrink it, but actually it's just the sizing's different for women. And I just wanted to really move away from that and change the way that trail running kit is made for women. It's designed by women for women, based on the feedback from my customers. And yeah, that's the only way that you can make kit that does perform well. But yeah, the shorts, the feedback's just been amazing. Like everything else, like the jacket and the shorts, I can't keep them in stock. Like the jacket sold out, I think, 4 or 5 times since I launched it in October. I actually booked the National Running Show last year without any products so I didn't have any products, but I set myself the goal of designing the jacket in time for the running show, and I'd actually sold out of the jacket twice before I even got to the show. So, you know, that for me was like a huge achievement because it meant that women loved the kit. So when it comes to the shorts and seeing them, you know, flying out the door, but also the feedback that I'm getting, women saying that they're absolutely incredible. I love them, I wear them. So if they're good enough for me, then hopefully they'll be good enough for other women as well.
Yep. If you've got a product that goes out of stock, how soon do you get it back in stock?
Some of the products are like seasonal. Being a small business, obviously investment is like a huge part of, you know, the kind of journey, I guess. So I kind of prioritise what I've got in stock by season. With the new range coming out, obviously I'm saying goodbye to some of the older kit that I had previously. So that's to make way for all the new kit. So people will, or customers will, see a lot of the older stock going out of stock for that reason. And it's to launch this new exciting range. So I think I try not to have things out of stock for too long, but generally it's when, you know, it's around trends, I guess, about what people are buying. So, you know, I'll have the jacket in stock by September, and I'll be introducing something new and special around that launch as well. So yeah, lots to come.
Well, we're looking forward to it. I can't wait to see the new kit.
Yeah, I'm excited to share it. Thank you.
So the next question that we have on the set, moving on from Trail Goddess, is, or it might be part of this answer, why do you run?
I think I could say that in one sentence. I think I run to feel free. It's the only time that I ever feel completely free. You know, I don't mind being honest and saying, like, I'm a single mum of 3, so I don't get a lot of time to myself. And that time that I get to go running, it just is a bit of calm, you know, and the chaos that is being a busy mum, business owner, and, you know, running trails and ultras, you know. So yeah, it's a lovely bit of calm, and it gives me time to just think about, you know, it gives me clarity, I guess. And that's where all my best ideas come, when I'm out running as well. Like, I've stopped listening to music. I don't listen to music anymore. Sometimes podcasts that give me inspiration, and then I think, I can't write this down because things come to mind. And yeah, I do find a lot of my ideas for Trail Goddess have came during a run as well. So yeah, that's why I run.
And I think you probably answered the next question. I'm thinking, well, the question is, what do you think about? And I'm thinking your answer is either going to be, you're thinking about new designs, what could you improve with what you're wearing, or you've said it gives you calm and you don't think about anything. So what do you think about while you're running?
I suppose you're going to take from that my mind goes at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So that is why, you know, I am where I'm at. So I think I'm just brimming with ideas at the minute, like about where this can go. I've got a huge ambition. I'm quite an ambitious person. I always have been in my past career. So I've got big plans, but I do feel just a sense of calm when I'm running. I do. it just makes me feel free, trail running. There's no other way to describe it. But yeah, I can't help the busyness of my mind. It just happens.
It's obviously not a bad thing, because that's how you've got to where you are.
Yeah, I think so. As I say, I just wish I had somewhere to note down all the things that come to mind when I'm running, because by the time I've got back to the car, I've forgotten it all. So yeah.
You need a dictaphone that you can run with.
I need to work
Send
out.
yourself WhatsApp voicemails or something like that.
I
Or
do
a
need
voice
to.
recorder.
Yeah, I listened to a podcast. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's obviously trail and ultra running podcast, but I do love the Founders podcast, and it's like other kind of really like well-known inspirational founders, and I get lots of snippets from that, and I've nowhere to write it down. I wish I had somewhere to note it. So yeah, it's calm in the chaos.
So aside from you launching the new range in the very near future, what else do you have coming up for yourself running wise?
Running wise, oh goodness, again, the busyness of my mind means that I'm always thinking about what I can do next. As you know, I'm doing the Fling in September. Nikki, I know you're doing that too. So I'm excited for that. I also would like to do a 100-miler. I'm putting that out there. I do think I've got it in me. I've said that to my coach, I would like to in the future, but the biggest dream would be UTMB. I've got to say, I think ever since I discovered UTMB, and I know it's so oversubscribed and it's one of the most difficult races to get into. I know there's a lot of kind of speculation around it, but just ever since I seen that scenery, I just wanted to do that race and experience it for myself. So whether it's a full thing or it's OCC, I don't know, but I would really like to maybe do that one day. So that's the ultimate goal, I think.
At one point, that was like what I was aiming for, and I went out and did it, and must say it didn't disappoint. Yeah. There is all the other stuff in the background, the cost, the environmental impact, no, it was a great race. So yeah. It's just recommend it.
Isn't it? I think that's what trail running gives you experiences that no road run ever will, so for me doing UTMB would be about that, definitely. And I think it's got to set your soul on fire. There's no point in signing up for a race unless it makes you feel that way.
I think that's half the battle. If you're not excited about it, why are you doing it? And more so, why are you putting all that training time in for it? Because it's the training behind it all as well.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't get a spot in the West Highland Way this year. I was in the ballot. I didn't get in, unfortunately, but that was what made me sign up for the 2 50-mile races. So I thought, if I'm not going to do the 100, then I'll do 2 50s instead. So maybe next year, you never know.
It's always in the pipeline, isn't it?
Well, still, it's still a dream, but there's lots of dreams, so I have to, see what happens next year.
And I think you might have answered the next question with your previous answer. It was, what was your dream race? But is it UTMB?
I think so, yeah. That is the dream. Whether it ever happens or not, because it's such a journey to get there. I remember doing my first ultra, looking at, I think it was Tweed Valley Ultra, and seeing that you got 2 running stones, and I thought that automatically enabled me to get into the ballot. But actually, I think it was 2 running stones towards something else that it just seems like such a journey to get there. Mike, you can maybe fill me in.
Well, it's changed at least twice since I did it. It used to be that you had to do one race that was over a certain distance, and then another race. I think you had to do like a 70-mile-ish and a 50-mile-ish, and that was enough to get you in the ballot. But it's gotten more and more popular, and now they've changed it to be you've got to, it's basically if you pay to do their races, you're more likely to get into the ballot to do their race, or something like that.
It did change after I got those stones. So, and I didn't really understand it. I have the UTMB index, like a lot of people do, but yeah, I'm not really understanding the process now. So, it might be a longer journey than I expected, to put it that way.
And the next question is one that it can be potentially awkward, but hopefully not. Is there anybody that you would love to run with, either fictional, real, or alive or not?
Oh yeah, there's two women that spring to mind. I mean, I've obviously got lots of running heroes. I've mentioned a couple of them, local heroes, but I think Sally McRae, I've got to say, like, she's just so relatable and so personable. I've read her book, I've listened to her podcast and followed her for years now, and like I have a little chat with my friend Jen about her husband's really good at liking people's runs on Strava, but I actually sent her a message about her book and she liked the message. I was absolutely over the moon about this, like that I was made up. She is definitely a huge inspiration, and her book was just an eye-opener. It wasn't what I expected at all. So yeah, I think it's got to be Sally McRae. I mean, obviously there's lots of amazing UK runners like Yasmin Paris, but I think just because I've followed her for such a long time and she is so gritty, like I love that grit she's got. So yeah, I'm going to say Sally McRae.
Yeah. And for the record, there's no need to be embarrassed about being somebody liked my post. Great. I know somebody that's in this chat that gets very excited when even I say, "Oh, well done" on a chat. So there's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Yeah, it's a thing where it's a little competition I've got with my friend to see if Eddie McRae, her husband, can like her run on Strava. But yeah, that's a different story.
Well, if all I can say is if Mike gives you kudos, you're doing well.
Really? So that I can feel validated. I'll do that.
And you've mentioned you're doing Fling, which is 7 weeks yesterday.
I know.
Yeah, that's how I feel. But aside from that, have you got anything else booked? Or have you got any ambitions for even next year after Fling?
Running wise or business wise? Running wise.
Oh.
Running wise, I've obviously got the Fling, and then I'm going back to do the John Muir Way Nocturnal in November. I did that last year and it was really good fun. I think it's just a nice way to end the year. It had a really nice community vibe about it. So I'm going to go back and do that because I feel like I just missed my goal the last time and there was no reason for it really, apart from me being scared to run by myself in the dark, which, I know a lot of females have that, but it wasn't an organised race, so I've no excuses. So I'm going back to finish that one off. Next year, I have nothing booked yet, so I do have a few, but there's too many to choose from, and this is where the problem lies. I don't know if you experienced that too, but yeah, there's a few I've got my eye on, definitely. Trail Goddess wise, obviously the new range, the new collection, the Sunrise collection it's called, coming in the next few weeks, and just really continuing to build the community as well, like getting out and speaking to people. I enjoy that so much. I was at Glen Tanner Running Festival. I was asked to go there last weekend and it was such good fun. It was a great day, a great weekend, and so to go along and support, that was their first festival, so to go along and support that was amazing. So I want to do a bit more of that, and I have my own events as well. So yeah, I have the Run With Us events, which are trail running events that are just for women to come along, and a lot of the women that come have never tried trail running before, so it's a great environment for them to come along and experience it for the first time in a safe and inclusive environment. And so continuing to get out and speaking to customers and meeting people, I think at these events is really important to me, so I'll continue to do that as well. And the running show in January, so I'm back there next year. Lots to come.
Whereabout is the running show?
So the running show is the biggest exhibition for running in the UK. So it's in Birmingham NEC in January. I think it's the very last weekend in January next year. And I think there's about 30,000 people cross the door for that event. So obviously it's great. It's a great platform to, like, obviously for me last year to launch the brand. But at one point, at the stand, so I had like the smallest stand you can get, like literally had the tiniest budget, the tiniest stand, and I didn't realise I would have, you know, the jacket and all the stock at the event. And at one point there was like, it was 3 rows deep at the stand, and it was just lovely to see so many people that recognised the brand and came to see the jacket specifically and try it on, and just having conversations with people. So I want to do a lot more of that because I think that's really important.
Well, I think from both of us, I'll speak on behalf of Nikki, all the best for the future. It sounds like a great idea, and we fully support you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's been great. Really appreciate it. And
I guess that takes us to thank you for coming on the show. Thank you, Nikki, for being Nikki, and it's goodbye from me.
Thanks for coming on, Leigh-Ann.
Thank you. Take care.